incapable of being serious for longer than 5 minutes at a time, so this is like going to be really weird for my friends over here. This is a story. It's a catharsis. You know, it's kind of a tip of the hat to death, who came too soon for my wife, but he came as a friend. And you know, this, okay, we just heard like an awesome song, so I'm sorry to bring down the mood. But, Amor does not visit Omnia, just so you know. I'm sorry to tell you, we're all going to die. And, you know, it's like depressing, but, you know, here we have it. In 2007, I was a Gummit, G-U-M-M-I-N-T, employee in Baghdad, making a fairly small amount of money because I was a Fed, not a contractor, not some fancy, you know, shady backroom deal. I didn't get, you know, tax-free income or anything like that. I was just some stupid kid who thought, oh, this will look great on my fucking resume. And so I was there for 6 months. It's like a 6-month stint of boredom interspersed with 10 to 20 seconds of terror every now and then. And I was married at the time. Things had been on the rocks for a couple of years. You know, my wife and I weren't getting along that well, and of course going to Baghdad doesn't help. I mean, she was like, oh yeah, it'll be great for your career, but suddenly it amplifies all of the like bizarre relationship issues that we'd been having up to that time, and she was saying things, you know, she's almost 30, biological clock's ticking, she's mentioning the word children in the same sense as the word divorce. Like, that's not a good idea, especially, you know, when you're talking about long-term planning. So my being away wasn't helping with those myriad emotional and personal problems, and it also doesn't help that I'm sort of an emotionally unavailable jerk, you know, just kind of the thing that I do. I'm sorry. And I've got kind of this like tilting at windmills superiority complex. Again, not great for the whole relationship thing. I don't know why women don't like that, but you know. So Julie and I had met writing for this website, and there's like 3 people, maybe more, I don't know if there are more, writing for this website. So, you know, like your friends and mine, Jared and Sarah and Bart, who's like back there somewhere. We all wrote for the same website, and these folks, we had this like really powerful connection. It's kind of funny. It's just like early in the internet. We all got together. We're all writing. It's like fiction. It's nonfiction. It's goofing off, and we had these magnificent connections with each other. And so we met each other. One of the first times I met these folks was driving from Nashville up to Columbus to hang out at Bart's house for like a 3-day weekend that he almost got evicted because of. So, you know, we really did. We got to have these super powerful connections. It's the reason why, even though I'm from DC, and I just now am coming back from a trip to Nashville, that I've stopped in Columbus twice. You guys, Columbus rocks. All right? And so that's the reason why I'm here. We had and we still have a special thing. So now as my marriage was failing and I was like as lonely as I'd ever been, and it's like, Baghdad's not that bad. If you want to go somewhere really awful, go to Kuwait or go to Djibouti. Like, those are really awful. But Baghdad is boring. Like, there's no beer, there's no fucking, there's no porn. It sucks, right? Like, it's all of the things that you live for, and they're like, we're going to take that shit away. But don't worry, we'll give you hazard pay. All right, well, I was able to buy an Elantra when I got back. So, during the course of that time, I found myself using Gmail chat a lot to sort of keep in touch with folks and to keep saying, I'm not sure. I can't remember if I talked to Jared, if I talked to Bart and stuff, but I did. I like stayed posted. I stayed connected to a lot of my online friends, and it's a way to, you know, keep yourself from going completely crazy, because the people that you're with are in the same boat as you. They're crazy people. You don't go to the Middle East for 6 months to a year to 2 years at a time voluntarily, unless you've been touched in hate. And so it sort of kept my mind, it kept me sane, it kept my mind off of the things that I was doing, and particularly, you know, what I was. So, like, one of these folks in particular is Ren, short for Corinne. She sent me mix CDs. And she and I had been friends from this website for a long time. And, you know, I'd stayed in touch with her, like, from the end of one marriage all the way through this one. Like, she had been at my wedding to the other girl, again, who I'd met off this website. What is it with this website thing, right? It's like the internet is something other than a series of tubes. And then, and so she sent me mix CDs. And this is where everybody is, oh, he finally mentions the theme. Oh, okay, so she sends me mix CDs. And, you know, she's just recovering from her first battle with cancer. It's synovial sarcoma. They took the chemo, radiation, took a chunk of muscle out of her thigh, and actually, chances were decent that she'd be okay, like it'd never come back. So she sent me these CDs that were filled with music, but like, it's music I never heard. It's a lot of bands that I never listened to, mostly because, you know, I'm still stuck in that, like, sorry, this is Nashville, so it's like hard to remember. 103.3, classic rock, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, right? Like, that's what I remember. She's sending me stuff that's like newer and like a little bit fresher. But I find out later that they were filled with her feelings for me. And it was, so, you know, I'm married, but she's also sending me, you know, I didn't realize at the time because I've never been good at like recognizing when a woman is interested. It's, whatever. Anyway, so she sends me these songs and I didn't get it until much later that it was love letters. So what I got from her was stuff like Modest Mouse, Silver Sun Pickups, Old Crow Medicine Show, you know, 2 Gallons, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and, you know, like music from Carmen and the White Stripes and, you know, Kanye West. You know, it's like, okay, why not? You know, this is good stuff. And so I come back from Baghdad, and nothing convinces you to carpe diem more than having death look over your shoulder. Like, I mean, it really wasn't that exciting. I'm not kidding. It was boring as hell, but like, there were a couple of instances where like, oh, I'm outside and there's a 21 mortar barrage. I have to get off the phone now. And you know, you go and you lay down as close to a concrete barrier as you can. But that was it. Like that, there were like 4 of those instances in the course of 6 months. I'm like, yeah, whatever. PTSD, fuck that shit. So, you know, I come back, I ended my marriage with Julia, and shortly afterward, because I'm done being miserable, I contacted Ren. And I went to visit her from DC, driving all the way to Elizabethtown, Kentucky, which you're familiar, it's like close to Louisville, right? Good long drive, put a lot of miles on that new Elantra I just bought. And 3 months later, she moved in with me. She got a job managing a coffee shop, learned how to roast, taught a bunch of like, you know, high school and college kids, you know, what it means to be responsible for themselves, at least as much as you can in a retail environment. And after a year or so, she found out her cancer had come back. So I married her immediately. I was like, insurance. I got the government insurance. Let's do this. And I helped her as much as I could over the next couple of years. And she eventually had to quit her job, and her ability to travel slowly deteriorated. But in our time together, we learned to do scuba diving, Turks and Caicos, sailing, sailing on our own boat. Sorry. Saw Penn and Teller in Vegas. Disney World with her family. The Meter Museum of Medical Oddities in Philadelphia, right? And that was on one of the weeks where she had to get chemo in Philly. And she played a lot of video games online with her nephew. She helped me fully internalize the fact that it's not the activity, but the person you're with, or the people you're with, because of her love for her family, not just me. And so, you know, it's been under a month, just under a month, 8th of August. I held her hand as she died. Her last breath, like the silence.
is what woke me up. It'll take forever to recover. But I want you to know, I said we're all going to die. It's true. Like a quarter of us, it's going to be cancer. A quarter of it's going to be heart disease, if not more. As we get better treatments for heart disease, more of us will die from cancer. Good to know, right? And you know what? She drank deep of life. She fought a graceful battle, a gallant battle. And I still have the CDs. It was all worth it. Every last bit of it was worth it. And there's a song by the Specials. Well, it's not by the Specials, it's a cover. I can't remember if it was Tony Bennett who did one, but it's Enjoy Yourself. It's later than you think. Remember that. Don't be miserable. Have a good life. Thank you.